Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week. And overall, it was a pretty interesting week. Most of the movies I watched were in that like 3-star range, so not a whole lot of great movies this week, but there were definitely a few. So with that being said, let's hop into it. But I do want to start this off because I do want to start plugging this a little bit more. Check out my Letterboxd. I believe it's Miist21. It's in the link in the description, or it's a link in the description. It's been there for a while, so definitely go check it out. Follow me on Letterboxd. You can take a look at all my reviews I've watched. A total of 836 different movies and almost 1,000 at 991 total watches on Letterboxd, which is pretty impressive actually. Because one of my goals of the year was to reach 1,000 movies in the diary, and I'm going to hit that very, very soon. I'd be shocked if I didn't do it this week, so that's really exciting, actually. With that being said, though, let's get into this, and let's start it off with my least favorite watch of the week, which is The Lorax. This was a part of a big movie weekend for me. I watched 5 movies this weekend, yesterday and today, so that's pretty great. Yeah, I mean, this one wasn't great, though. I ranked it a 40 out of 100. Apart from a pretty interesting plot and a good story in the plot about deforestation, pollution, and killing trees and forests, I didn't really care for this movie that much. I really didn't care for the character designs throughout as well. And I think the biggest L this movie takes is that Zac Efron and Taylor Swift are both in this movie, and neither of them sing a word, which I think is a little messed up. But hey, I mean, whatever. Overall, though, I just didn't enjoy it a whole lot. It was my first time watching it. Mel enjoyed it, so sick. Let's move on to The Omen, which is one of my oldest movies at a 1976 release date, which it ranked a 59 out of 100. Overall, I was kind of enjoying this movie, but it was just, like, decent, you know? Like, it was almost decent. Like, it's just kind of mid. So, I did enjoy my time with it a little bit, like I said. But for the most part, I don't think it's anything too special. And I do think it's a little bit too old for me to really enjoy, because some movies that are older are just harder for me to enjoy, and this is one of them, unfortunately. So a 59 out of 100, but I do feel like this movie must have been pretty influential, because there's a lot of tropes that I see from this movie, although I don't know if this is the originator of it, but anyways. We'll keep going. We'll move on to, I believe, to be the last of the original Universal monster movies I needed to watch, which was Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was an interesting movie. A wild character design for the creature, which I ranked this movie a 60 out of 100. Definitely the best part of this movie is the crazy, crazy, crazy looking creature, because it's impressively weird. And it's kind of fire, though, at the same time. Like, it's really impressive, actually. This is actually the last of the original Universal monster movies that I watched, and I believe last released as well. So, this one was from 1954. It's by far the newest of any of the other ones that I had watched. Most of them being from the 30s and 40s. So, yeah, I mean, overall, it gets that 3-star, just barely. But I ranked it a 60 out of 100. It was decent. I enjoyed it, but it's just nothing special in my opinion. So let's keep going to, honestly, another movie, and again, a kind of big theme from this week. A 64 out of 100, Lisa Frankenstein. This was really just a movie I wanted to watch because it was a 2024 release, and overall, it wasn't lovely. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was kind of like up and down, but obviously I've been in this like monster lore lately. That's kind of been like my thing lately, so this is kind of just fitting right into that perfectly. But overall, it was decent. I didn't love it. Glad I didn't see it in theaters, to be honest. But well, let's keep going to again, another one, just a 66 out of 100, Geostorm, which this is a like super run-of-the-mill a Gerard Butler action movie, really. Like, it was okay. There was a time where I was like really enjoying it, then it got really tropey, which I didn't really like a whole lot. Yeah, you know, it was just kind of like, it was decent. It was some pretty impressive scenes, and of course crazy destruction throughout the movie as well. But yeah, I mean, this is an average of a 2.0 on Letterboxd, and I enjoyed it more than that, clearly. There was a part of me that was thinking it was good at one point, but it just kind of fell off. Overall, a fun, mindless movie that you can watch. I can guarantee my parents have watched this and love it. You know, that's just kind of like their styles of film. So, with that being said, let's move on to The Phantom of the Opera. My oldest film now, at a 1925 release date. So, almost 100 years old, which is pretty crazy. I ranked this as 69 out of 100, and I do think this is worse than the 1943 one, which I know I'm in the minority, I guess, for people that have seen those. Apparently, a lot of people think this one is better, but I do think the 1943 one is better. This one is longer, and I do find it a bit hard to get into a silent film. So that was a bit of a struggle for me, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it just wasn't my favorite movie, by any means, but it was still a decent movie. Like I said, I mean, it gets that 69 out of 100. Nice. So let's keep going to Red Eye, which is a Wes Craven movie I didn't even know existed. So I decided to watch it because it's a great cast of Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, and of course Brian Cox as well. And overall, I enjoyed this movie. It's not my favorite Wes Craven movie by any means, but Wes Craven kind of brings in like an element of a thriller slash horror. It's not really a horror movie at all, but he kind of adds that fear about terrorism and anti-terrorism after the events of 9/11. So that's very interesting and super unique as well, especially coming from perhaps the most influential horror director ever. So shout out Wes Craven, expanding his film genre, and I really enjoyed that. And I had a good time with this movie. I did enjoy it. Like I said, 72 out of 100, and it just really made me want to watch more Cillian Murphy, because I just need more Cillian Murphy in my life. So with that being said, let's move on to an absolutely iconic movie of The Cat in the Hat, which Mel and I watched yesterday. Our double feature last night was The Lorax and The Cat in the Hat, which is hilarious. We went in a little Dr. Seuss marathon, but man, if it wasn't for me watching this so many times as a kid growing up, I would absolutely hate this movie. Like, I can just guarantee, because I fucking love this movie still. I haven't seen it in years, but oh man, I love this movie so much. It's so funny, man. It's just so good. It's so cringy. It's so bad, but it's so bad that it's good, and it's great. I love it. I rated it an 80 out of 100, which people are all over the place for this movie, and I understand it's not a great movie by any means, but I love it, and it's beautiful to look at. The colors and the set pieces in this movie are tremendous. I see Mel and I were looking through other reviews from this movie, and we've seen a lot of the best Wes Anderson film never made by Wes Anderson, which was really funny because it's kind of true. But with that being said, let's move on to another 80 out of 100, The First Omen, which is of course a sequel to The Omen. And I guess there is like The Omen 2 from like back in the 70s or 80s. I just didn't really want to watch it, to be honest, so I decided not to. But I did want to watch this one because it's a 2024 release that I've heard really good things about, and overall, I mean, it's put itself at one of my favorite 2024 releases of the year at 80 out of 100. I really enjoyed this, and I honestly think if I could have seen this in theaters, I probably would have enjoyed it even more because it's super creepy. It's super scary and thrilling. I recommended it to my friend who's not a big horror fan, but his girlfriend has been like making them watch horrors. So, and I know he'd really struggle with it. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy this because it was really gross and eerie and disturbing, all in good ways. And yeah, I enjoyed this movie. An 80 out of 100. So let's move on to now the top three. And I watched a concert film tonight, just kind of listened to it again. Well, this is the first time listening / watching it, but it is Kendrick Lamar's The Big Steppers Tour live from Paris, which I remember this being so viral a few years ago after Mr. Morale came out, because Baby Keem and Kendrick in Paris looked absolutely amazing. Their concerts looked absolutely crazy, and it would have been such an experience. I think it would have been so awesome. And this concert was really fun one to watch, and it was really nice to revisit Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers because I haven't really since like probably the summer of the release. So it's been a little while. I'd say it's probably been about 2 years since I've really revisited the project. And it was nice to kind of go through Kendrick's newer discography a little bit more because there was a lot of Damn in the track list as well. Plus, again, Baby Keem and Kendrick on stage together was so awesome because I absolutely love them both very much. So yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It was really good to get back into Mr. Morale, and an 85 out of 100 for my third favorite of the week. So let's move on to the top two now. At number 2, LA Confidential, which was a movie leaving Netflix this week. Decided to watch it, and I really, really enjoyed it. I seem to be a little bit higher on it than most, ranking at a 4.5 star, where most people seem to be ranking it around a 3.5 and 4. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I ranked it a 92 out of 100. I said all I really said in my review is that I wish I could. I aspire to be able to make movies as good as this one and plots as good as this one that are so intricate, and there's so many different perspectives and point of views and things happening throughout the story, and it all leads up to one culmination. It was just really great, and I really, really enjoyed that, and I had a great time with this movie. Of course, a stacked cast as well, a great cast, and I really enjoyed my time with it. Like I said, 92 out of 100. And with that being said, we'll move it on to number 1. And honestly, no surprise at all this is number 1, but Godzilla Minus One, which I ranked a 93 out of 100. I wanted to watch this movie in theaters last year when it came out, but it just didn't play in theaters around here, unfortunately. So I never got the chance to. And of course, it came out on it came out on Netflix last week. I didn't get a chance to watch it last week, and I got to finally sit down and watch it this week. And man, it was so good. It's a tremendous monster movie with amazing visual effects, the great score, especially bringing back the Godzilla Suite #1. I fucking love that score from the original Godzilla. To hear it new and not improved, but it's still great. A beautiful anti-war film with tons of messaging in the film and plot as well. This is easily, without a doubt, the best Godzilla movie, and it's not even close. It was absolutely tremendous, and destruction on another fucking level as well. Yeah, absolute favorite. One of my favorite watches of the year, honestly, that I've watched. So I really want to revisit this, and I can't wait to, because I really think it just could skyrocket. So with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.